So, what if the world you think you know isn't the full picture? Today, we're going to dive into some pretty wild claims from our source material. Claims that suggest there's this hidden reality, one where inanimate objects can actually respond to us, where secret histories control our present, and where even the scientific method, well, it just falls short. Let's get into it. At the very heart of this whole thing is one single, really powerful question that's going to guide us. It's asking us to just set aside our certainty for a minute and really consider the possibilities that exist right on the edge of what we can prove. Okay, let's kick things off with a specific event from the source material that is, frankly, just bizarre. It seems to defy pretty much all conventional logic. So the story is all about this strange artifact that our source calls the bug sphere. I want you to picture this. A totally lifeless-looking object, locked away in a secure vault under constant sterile observation. Nothing gets in, nothing gets out. But then, something completely unexpected happens. A group, and they were reportedly inspired by Dr. Stephen Greer's work on human-initiated contact, they decide to try something a little unconventional. They gather around this inert sphere, and they perform a chant. The results were, just astonishing. This object, with absolutely no power source anyone could find, it physically reacted in a way you could actually measure. Its temperature shot up, and it started to vibrate, even making a sound like it was singing back. An event like that should be front-page news, right? It could literally challenge our entire understanding of physics. So this brings up a really crucial question raised in the source. Why are stories like this kept in the dark? So, where does the source material say the answer is? Well, it points its finger directly at the powerful narratives that get shaped by our mainstream media and entertainment. The source lays out this really stark contrast. See, on one side, you have the stories we always see. Sensational shows all about fear, alien invasions, tons of drama. But on the other side, you've got these stories of peaceful contact or positive phenomena that, the source claims, get totally ignored because they just don't fit that profitable, fear-based model that gets all the sponsors. And this quote from the source really just hits the nail on the head. The argument is that the whole media ecosystem is basically set up financially to push fear over peace. And that, of course, shapes how we all see the unknown as a threat. But is it really just about ratings? The source material argues it goes way, way deeper. It alleges there's a deliberate pattern of suppression that doesn't just affect what we watch, but also what our leaders are even allowed to tell us. All right, let's look at these claims, which the source material attributes to Dr. Greer. They're about what has supposedly happened when American presidents have gotten just a little too close to revealing certain truths. Our source outlines this really startling alleged pattern. It claims that when President Kennedy started moving towards working with Russia on space exploration and disclosure, he was assassinated. Then, when Nixon was thinking about releasing suppressed technology, Watergate blew up. And when Bill Clinton discussed disclosure with his CIA director, a massive character-defining scandal broke that very same week. The key point here, according to the source, is that the methods of suppression actually evolved. The claim is that the tactic shifted from, a physical elimination to character assassination, which is just as effective, maybe even more so, at silencing someone in the modern world. So this all leads us to the biggest question of all, the motive. What could possibly be so important, so world-changing, that it would require this level of alleged control and suppression for decades? To even find a potential motive, the source suggests we have to zoom out way out. The argument is that the problem isn't just political or cultural. It's actually baked into the very foundation of science itself. So the argument starts with the science we all learned in school, which is built on what's called a Newtonian model of the universe. The easiest way to think about it is like a simple light switch. Things are either on or off, true or false. There is no in-between. But here's the kicker. Modern physics shows us we live in a much weirder quantum universe. And here, that light switch isn't just on or off. It can be both on and off at the same time, or in a state we can't even measure yet. The classic example is light itself, right? It acts as both a solid particle and a flowing wave. That's a paradox that completely breaks the old binary rules. And this is where the source makes its boldest claim about this limitation. It argues that our scientific method, which depends on direct measurement, is basically useless for understanding, get this, 96% of the universe. All that dark matter and dark energy, we know something is there, but the source suggests our true or false tools can't even begin to grasp what it is. So if we follow this logic, that our systems of media, politics, and even science are just not equipped for a deeper reality, where does that leave us? Well, the material wraps up with a kind of prophecy. A massive, probably turbulent, shift is on the horizon. It's described as a prophecy of transition. It starts with the flash, some kind of undeniable truth bomb drops. This is followed by the shutdown, a period where the existing powers might try to hit the brakes and regain control by shutting everything down. But this chaotic moment is short, and it leads to the awakening, a total, fundamental shift in human consciousness. Ultimately, this whole explainer of the source material leaves us right here. What if the phenomena we dismiss as impossible are only impossible within the limits of our current perception? What if the real frontier isn't somewhere out in space, but right here, in the way we choose to see the world?